Here.
Well, welcome to this week's episode. We actually have two kind of armor mods, two followers, and a house mod. First off, we're going to start off with our follower mod, and this will be Eiko follower by
With the soldiers all fighting in the
Yakisoba
war,
or
there's nobody to hunt down the bandits. Travel
Yakisoba-pan,
has become dangerous of
and
late.
you'll find her at the west gate for Riverwood. And tiny
It's a
little elf
fine day
girl
with
right
you
standing right
around.
here with a bow and arrows. To
Sure,
recruit her,
what can I
just
do for you?
walk up to her,
Lead the
talk to
way.
her, and ask her to follow you. As you heard, she will ramble a lot. But because of that, you'll always know she's around, that's for sure.
Why do we always focus on retelling the old stories? There are so many new stories being made right now.
And if you notice that she's only wearing clothes, well, that's because that's the standard that she comes in. So we can always give her something better to wear.
I've got your back. What do you want me to carry?
And
Let's
there,
get going
doesn't she
then.
look like she might be more comfortable than long dress running around in the
I
forest?
bet you've had plenty of adventures.
So let's go on to our next follower mod. And for our next follower, you'll find her in the Winking Skeever, and once again, she is another elf.
Oh,
So
hello.
all you have to do is
It's a
walk up to
fine
her,
day with you. Lead the
ask her
way.
to follow you,
Our hero claims a warrior's heart.
Oh,
and
hello.
since it's so dark in the Winking Skeever, might as well take you outside where it's night and there's more light. I wasn't kidding when I said there was more light. And it seems she's leaving. Oh well. Seems that you hurt her feelings. Yeah. But as you can tell, she is a one-handed warrior type that
First the
wears
war, and now there's
elven
talk of
armor,
dragons.
much
What's
like how the
next?
other one wore the elven,
I bet you've had
like
plenty of
the bow
adventures.
and arrows.
It's
So
not much
with this
to
character,
ask.
she can be a little bit more tanky, whereas the other one is more of a ranged kind of attack. So depending on which one you want, you still have an attractive follower. The difference between them is the height and what weapons they use and utilize, and also their different perks. One of them has
This
custom
war has
perks,
taken
whereas
a
the other
toll
one
on the
does not.
merchants of Skyrim. Let's hope that it ends
Also, the
soon
voice
for
acting
their
is
sake.
also different. So between the two followers, you can actually have a
You
have
know
a
you
lot
can
of
afford a
different
septim or
things.
two.
This one is Finnia, a cute elf standalone follower by Shuckle 2000. So if you wanted a pair
I
of
heard those
elves that
mages
were
up in
both
Winterhold have been
versatile
trying to
and
figure out
good
how many
for
dragons there
pretty
are in
much any
Skyrim.
circumstance, then this would be another mod for you as well. So these are the two
Don't
followers I have to
suppose you
show
can
off for this
chant my
week. So
sword.
on to the next
Dull
one.
old blade can barely cut.
And here we have a gorgeous player home. And with the contrast between the whites, the reds, and the grays, this is the Pale Marsh Manor, a unique player home by, yeah, let's see if I can't, butcher this name. Kiriavark or something like that? Kiriavark? I don't know. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. But, yeah, this adds a lot to it. And it's not the frame rate issue that I normally have. Like, this thing will actually butcher your frames.
Way I hear it, elsewhere ain't nothing like Skyrim.
But
Got
hey,
tropical
if you want
forests
something that
and
looks
dusty
good, doesn't
badlands.
have any
That
load
sounds awful.
screens, then this is basically one for you. Though I wouldn't really get into the water because it's all red. As you can tell from the waterfall back there, which is also red. There is a lot of whites, a lot of reds used into this place, so there's a lot of contrast, and it all makes it look
Just
like it
yesterday I
just
saw a
pops.
musician in the street playing a flute. It was beautiful.
Where the red waterfalls come from, I have no idea. But you can see into the house. You can actually go in there and live inside the house. And you can actually have the lighting effect of the change of the time of day actually affect the shadows and the lighting of the house as well.
Would you look at that? These are troubling times indeed.
So as you can tell, there's also a lot of space for books. It doesn't look like it would be very big inside, but it's actually kind of big. And you even have your own caged butterfly. I don't know what it is about people and caging butterflies in small containers. It seems really weird to me. But there's butterflies and jars, butterflies and cages.
Well, that's
Yeah.
different.
And then you get the top floor, of course, where it's your pretty much living area, where you get mannequins and more storage space. As you can see from me trying to wander around this place, I'm not kidding about the frame rate issue for this place. Although it does seem like one of the mannequins has wandered. You're in my way. So it looks like it also has different kinds of things to it, different enchanting tables, alchemy labs, things like that in this place. So it doesn't look like it actually
It's not
uses
easy
any
being a woman
kind
in
of
Skyrim.
resources. Well, some of it does look like it's from the game, but a lot of it looks like it could be like custom made, like the couches and things. So there is a lot in this place that you can use. There's a lot that can actually be functional. A lot of it that's been retextured, as you can tell from the bookcase over here, where the glass has been tinted a red color.
I
But
heard
there
those
is
mages
a
up in
lot with
Winterhold
this
have been
place that
trying to
you can
figure out how
use.
many
If you
dragons
don't
there are
mind
in
the drops
Skyrim.
in frame rates, there's also other stuff outside of this place as well that you can check out and explore. As you can tell, you got the tanning racks over here. You got different like the crafting stations and whatnot.
I made a wish in the town well that a golden knight came to take me to his castle.
And
Oh,
you got the
does it
typical
spoil the wish if I
ingot
tell?
storage, hide storage, various other storage, weapon storage there. So if you make stuff and you want to store it, you actually have a pretty nice place to store it at. And it's actually a pretty sizable location. So if this is something that
Someday,
you
I'll
would be
be a gallant
interested in,
heroine.
to have some
You make
kind
it look
of
so appealing.
pretty much house that isn't just a house, but is an entire like zone itself, then this is going to be a player home that you want. And to show it off when it's dark, let's go for about, oh, I don't know, 10 hours. That should bring it about to be 11. Okay, so it's nighttime now. As you can tell, you can see the leaves falling from the trees. The lanterns are illuminated and everything, along with the lighting and the glow of the lights off from the blood red water. But if we go inside the house, that's when you can actually start seeing the difference in the lighting within it.
Someday a gallant hero will ride up and take me away. Someday.
As you can tell, the house is now more illuminated by the lanterns than it was the outside light sources, like meaning the sun. So in areas where it's going to be darker, it's going to be areas that aren't well lit, and areas that are well lit are the areas that have the lanterns and other sources of light. There is a side building as well that we can check out.
They say
And as you can tell, this one is more in line with being an alchemy building, because you have potted plants that you can harvest, and even more alchemy supplies up here. So, and again, this is one of those ones that is very large, very versatile, and has a lot going for it. I mean, if you can handle just like the frame rate drops with this, because this will be a frame rate killer, uh, then this is actually a very good player home to have. There's no load screens except for
It's
when
not
you
easy
first
being a
come into
woman in
this
Skyrim.
area, because you do have to actually enter into this area. But other than that, I have no issues with this place whatsoever. It is really nice and it is really good touch to have with it. There's no load screens, there's nothing to really load up into. And the outside external lighting actually affects the lighting within the house, which is also really nice to see. Alright, well, that's pretty much all I have to say about this mod. Let's move on
These
to
are
our next
troubling
one, which
times
is, of
indeed.
course, the two armor mods. And for armor mod, I actually have the follower modeling this because I still can't get my console
I heard
commands
those
to
mages up in
show up.
Winterhold have been trying to figure
But
out
this
how
is the
many
steel
dragons
bikini
there are in
armor
Skyrim.
by someone and Kaufman77. This is actually a pretty good one. It's got two variants. It's got this one, which is the less skimpy of the two, and the other one, which is a, well, little pasties that
I bet you've
make up
had
the
plenty of
bikini top.
adventures.
And just like the other one, the back was more or less exposed. But in terms of being more functional, if you are kind of facing off against an opponent, this actually might work out more because of all the places that you have the heavy armor pad like protection. Like the upper arm, you can actually use that as either shield or to deflect sword attacks. You also have the ones for the legs as well. But you also have variants to the legs and the arms as well, so you can mix and match as much as you want. The face mask does not cover the entire head. It actually just covers the front of the face with the horns, so it's not much of a helmet, but still it works out just well. Uh, and it's more or less of a stripped down version of the armor top for the steel armor. So if this is something that you're more or less interested in, then this is going to be a mod for you because you can actually have more or even less to this armor based on your particular style. I chose the less for the front part, which covers more of the face, and I chose more for the actual body armor than to have everything just kind of hanging out. If you do use a breast physics or butt physics mod, they actually do work with this armor. So that is a plus. Okay, now on to our final mod for the day. And if you remember, I did give Eiko a armor, and that was kind of a hint at our next one. And this is the UMP clothing, simple clothing variants by Petrovich and Undeadgoblin, or yeah, sorry about that if I mispronounced your name. This adds variants to some clothing that was added to the game by another mod author, which the mod authors of this mod actually says that you can use for even more variants to the clothing. It adds boots, a belt, a pair of pants or shorts, and the top along with a waist stash that goes around the character. I think she just looked adorable in that, so I figured show off the mod with the adorable little elf. Right now she is wearing the black version, and as you can tell, Natsumi is wearing the red version with the pants. It does kind of have a sort of plasticky look to it, but it is still very nice to have some UMP clothing thrown in that's not overly skimpy and even though it's not lore friendly, you still have to add this into the game through the console commands, which, as you can tell, I probably got it working once. And by getting into the console commands, you just have to type in help and then simply, and it will give you a list of commands. In order to add them to your inventory, you just go player.add item, the base name or the base code for the item plus 1 or however many that you want added to your inventory, and it will add them. There are 4 variants that come in this pack, maybe 5. I do believe I was only able to add 4 of them into my inventory, but the ones I do have are black, red, white, and I think burgundy, I believe was the other one. So if this is something that you would like your character to wear, something that's sleek, something that's sexy, then this is something for you, because it's also not something that's overly skimpy, which a lot of mods actually add. And so if this is what you want, then I suggest downloading it, endorsing the mod. Uh, as for this mod, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below for this episode. Uh, and I have started a broken Skyrim gameplay, so if this is something that you might want to check out, then I really go check it out. It's pretty funny how broken I've gotten my Skyrim to be, which is probably why I've been having a harder time doing the mod episodes. So until the next episode, take care. Bye.